Hi everyone, it's me, C Lefty Run. I'm back with my week 11. I can't believe it. My week 11 Berlin Marathon training. Some things to note before I get started about my week. So, week 11, I went back to work. I didn't get students yet, but there was a lot of prep involved. So, my classroom was under construction. I got kids today, which is Monday. I'm doing this Monday. Sorry, because I was at work all this weekend and I'm going to tell you why right now. So, my classroom was under construction. I could not go into my classroom until Thursday. I literally go to my classroom on Thursday. Mind you, I get kids today, Monday. There's boxes to the ceiling. There's pieces of the ceiling on the floor. They're still working in my room. I was ready to cry. So that was kind of like the stress I was under week 11, along with, I don't know if you remember a while ago, I told you about like I had to have an Apico, I think it's what it's called. I don't know. I went to my dentist and because I had a gum boil. And so my dentist was like, you need an Apico, which is where they drill into the gum to get out the infection because like I had a faulty root canal years ago or whatever. And when I had the infection, my HRV on my Garmin was like in the toilet and I couldn't figure out why. And then it turned out I had this tooth infection. So I go to and then my dentist put me on an antibiotic, which within 3 days of being on the antibiotic, my HRV started going back up. So then I go see the endodontist, and he said, I'm just going to redo the root canal, right? Because it wasn't done great. And in 80% of the cases, that will solve the problem. I was like, perfect. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to be the 20% that it doesn't solve the problem for. So sure enough, last week I'm having dinner with my son and I start to feel some pain right here. Now, mind you, I've had a root canal, so I'm not feeling tooth pain, but I feel pressure here. And I look at my gums, and I can tell it was inflamed. And I was hoping that it was from the cold I had just gotten over. I was like, maybe it's like some residual sinus stuff, silly me, right? And again, my HRV is tanking again. So I go to the endodontist and he goes, oh, looks like I'm going to have to perform the Apico after all. I was like, great. $2,100 it's going to cost me out of pocket. Do you want to know why? Because I guess I'm out of dental insurance this year. Had he done the Apico from the get-go, I wouldn't be out of money. But now because he did the root canal and it didn't work, and now he wants to do the Apico, $2,100 it's going to cost me. This has not been a good cycle. This is like one of the worst training cycles I've had ever. So I'm just at this point rolling with the punches. And I just want to like get through Berlin. I don't want to get through Berlin. Like I thought to myself, like just get through it. I don't want to get through it. It's expensive and it's supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be getting your fourth star. So that's what I need to think about. I'm like, I'm not going to get through. I'm still doing solid training. It might not be what I want my training to be, but it's still solid and I'll do better than get through and I'm going to actually have a good time. So that's where my mind is now. I'm like, we get so wrapped up in paces. I won't say I'll speak for myself. I get so wrapped up with validating myself based on a pace. Like, did I match the pace that I was supposed to run? If so, I did good today. If I didn't, I did bad today and I'm a bad runner and I need to stop thinking that way because I'm still doing the training and life happens during your cycle. And sometimes you just, for whatever reason, don't have a great one. And I'm just not having a great one. If I'm being totally honest, I haven't had a really great run since I did the Mesa Half Marathon in February. That was a good run, and that was a run where I was trying to stick to my plan, but I felt like but I was training for Boston. It was like in the middle of my Boston cycle. Luke doesn't like you to race in the middle of your training cycles. So he was like anti me doing it. And I was like, well, I already paid for it. I'm going to do it. So I followed the plan, but I could have pushed it a little bit harder. And it was a good run. I was taxed at the end, but I felt like I PR'd and all that good stuff. So that was the last good long run I've had. And then after that, of course, it was like all my long runs were rainy and I was just feeling, oh, and then I got sick, right? And then I got that really bad cold, which screwed up my cycle, the rest of my Boston cycle. So I had better hopes for Berlin, but now it's summer and now it's the this and now it's the that, and now it's the tooth and now it's like life isn't perfect. So when life isn't going perfect, my running isn't perfect. So I thought I'd give you a little update on that. The Achilles. So I went to this place called At Last Health Chiropractic, whatever. I went and saw someone who I thought was going to do dry needling, but it felt like she just did acupuncture. Like I got home and she said she was dry needling, but I looked at what people do when they dry needle and I was like, I don't think that's what you did. So I left that. Achilles felt the exact same way. Then I saw another guy in the office and he had said, my calves are tight. I know. My calves are tight. My whole body's tight. I don't know what to do about it. Like I roll out, I do it, throwing spaghetti at a wall. Let me strength train. Let me run. Let me roll everything out. That's like 3 hours out of my day. I work. And so I do my best, right? Just doing my best. And so what he did is he did say, don't walk around your house barefoot. And I was like, I can do that. And so since I haven't been, but if I am barefoot, like let's say this is my foot, I've been kind of walking on my tiptoes because when my foot is flat, that's when I feel the pain. But if I'm like on my tiptoes, I don't feel the pain. Even getting out of bed in the morning because it hurts, I just get on my tiptoes and I walk until I put shoes on. And I've been doing that for the last couple of days. I have to say it's been feeling a little bit better. So that's the good news. Fortunately, it only really hurts for like the first half mile of my run. Like hurts pretty bad where I do change my gait a little bit. And then after that, it like warms up and it's okay. So after Berlin, I'll get it all healed. Right now, I just keep talking to it, telling it nice things like, you're doing a good job, Achilles. Keep it up. Keep it up. We're almost in Berlin. We're almost in Berlin. And then when we're done with Berlin, I'll give you lots of love. I'll give you a little break. So we've been having talks, my Achilles and I. Told you about the dentist. So yeah, so I was back at work today. And so last week was all stressful with getting my classroom set up, going to trainings, sitting through meetings. We had to hire another teacher, blah, blah, blah. It was very stressful. Another kinder teacher, which is good because that reduced my class size. All right, let's get into the running because that's really why you're here. On the Olympics, you guys. We'll talk about that at the end. Sunday, I ran 4 miles. This is going to be my new Sunday routine. Thought I'd share. So Sunday, I am going to start running on the treadmill because it's a recovery day for me. And I can just set the treadmill, like, I think I do like, what I do, 5.7, like real slow. And I put my heart rate monitor on and I just make sure that my heart rate doesn't go much above 130. And if it does, I slow it down. Now I'm not like big into the heart rate training thing, but when my heart rate is low, I know I'm in my easy zone. So when I'm doing like speed work and stuff, I don't care about my heart rate. If I'm doing a long run, I don't care. But if it's like a recovery run or it's an intended easy run, my priority is to make sure I stay in that zone. So I ran with Tommy Rivs. My heart rate was a 127. I ran about a 10-minute mile. So I just did that on my iFit. Monday, okay. I was going back to work on Tuesday. I was going to training. So to run Tuesday morning, I would have had to wake up at like, I'm not kidding, 3 a.m., warm up, eat, all that stuff. I was like, I'm not doing all that. That's crazy. So I moved my speed work to Monday. And so I had 6 1-mile repeats on Monday. It was warm outside. My average pace was an 8:53. I ran 11 miles. Did I tell you I ran 52 miles? Week 11, 52 miles. So I'm in business now. I ran 11 miles. Average pace was 8:53. My average heart rate was 150. My warm up was a 9:17. And then my mile repeats were 8:04, 8:11, 8:06, 8:12, 8:14, 8:08. My heart rate was 150. And then I think there was a quarter mile recovery in between each one. It was okay. I had more stops than I would like. I saw my friend Stephanie and I stopped to chat with her, like stuff like that. And I don't love doing that, but it was hard. So, and those paces, normally I'm like in the 740s, low 750s. So I don't know what it is. My body's just tired. It doesn't respond well to the heat. I know you're tired of hearing me talk about heat. And that's another thing too. I don't live in freaking Texas. I live in Southern California. So it's hot, but it's not nearly as hot as what it is for everybody else. However, I'm a California girl through and through, so when it's hot, I really feel it. All right. So that was Monday. So moved out to Monday. Tuesday, I had to go to work. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning and I left my house at 6 a.m. No, 4:30, 5 a.m. I ran 6 really easy miles. My average pace was a 10:26. This was a weird run because I felt like I was dreaming because I had to get out of bed early and I was running, by myself in the dark. My heart rate was a 131. And yeah, I just felt like I was dreaming. It was kind of a weird run where I was like, am I running right now or am I dreaming? It's very strange. It was kind of misty in the morning. Wednesday, I went to Naples, Long Beach, ran with AREC, and I just wanted to negative split the run because I've been thinking about like, what are my goals for Berlin? I'm in no shape to set a time goal. I'm just not. Like, I just don't feel like my training is there. Sad but true. And I'm just not in like PR shape. I'm not even in sub 330, 340 shape. I'm not even in sub 340 shape. I don't know what shape I'm in. We're gonna find out when I'm in Berlin. So I just wanted a negative split. I ran with my friend Russ, and Russ is the king of negative splitting. So I ran a 906, a 905, a 901, an 847, and an 823. So yeah, Russ just ran a like 140 half over the weekend. Like he's 56. He negative splits all his marathons. And so he caught up with me around mile 3 and then we ran together. So cheers to Russ for helping me negative split. Took Thursday off. I had most of my first day at work with staff meetings and everything. Friday, I ran 10 miles and I woke up again super early, 4:30, out of the house at 4:50, ran 6 with my friend Stephanie, 4 alone. And my average pace was a 9:41. My heart rate was a 142. Saturday, I had a 16-mile long run, which I just did in El Dorado Park. My range for this is like an 8:55 to a 9:22. And I did not heat adjust because I was like, that's a pretty nice range. I still couldn't hit it. My pace was a 9:27. And again, stopped a million times. It was hot. It got up to like 82. The humidity was high. I am just not a summer runner, you guys. I'm just not. Or I don't know if it's that or something else. So I usually run with AREC. I usually start with them around 7. I got a late start on this run. I don't think I started till like 7:30. And I didn't go to AREC because I was tired and AREC was doing a mock half because they're training for Long Beach. And I knew that if I would have gone, I would have felt compelled to really push the pace. And it was not a run that day for me to push the pace. So I feel like I'm already struggling with recovery and not getting enough of it. I can just tell by how my body feels. So I was like, right now, I gotta, and the Achilles, right? Like, I just gotta focus on recovery. So just did 16 locally, 9:27 pace, heart rate was a 146. It's just very hot. And yeah, there's the quote of the week. Are you ready? Life is complicated. It is. Running is simple. Is it any wonder that people like to run? And sometimes I feel like I'm not making running simple. Today is Monday. Tomorrow I'm supposed to run 4 by 1.5 miles. I'm not. I'm just like, I can't do that after work in the heat. It's just miserable, even if I adjust my paces. So I'm going to run like 7 in the morning with my friend Stephanie. And then I'm going to go to Runner's High tomorrow night and do their speed workout. Because then at least I'm touching the speed. And yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like I have to enjoy it. Running should be simple, and I can't overcomplicate it right now with everything. It's got to be manageable. I need to come out of my runs feeling good. So I'm gonna like adjust. And I think that's where my head is at right now. But I was happy I got up to 52 miles because I felt like I was low mileage. I did skip today's run. I was gonna skip yesterday's 4-mile run, which was Sunday, but I made it an easy 6 on the treadmill while I watched the women's marathon, and I skipped. So today should have been 4, but I skipped it because I'm going to work, and I had to be at work this morning at 7:15. So, first day of school too, I can't be rushed in the morning. I gotta go in feeling peaceful. So those kindergartners come and they don't feel my rushed energy on the first day of school. Anyhow, so that's week 11. Oh, here's a fun thing to note. I've been listening to a podcast called Run Further and Faster, and it's 2 women, and I really like them, and I think they have great advice. In fact, they did a podcast this week on adapting to heat, and one of the women was like, I don't even try to do marathon pace efforts in the summer. She goes, I'll do like a 5K maybe once a month to just check that my speed is there. But outside of that, she's like, I'm not doing marathon paced efforts. It's too hot and I just can't do it. So that was refreshing to hear. So they were talking about like just adjusting, just kind of getting it done. And then I also wrote a review about their podcast and I won some good Earth sunglasses. I never win anything. So that was exciting. So if you're looking for a good podcast to listen to, Run Further and Faster. It's 2 women and I get the impression like they're both mothers. They're probably late 30s, early 50s. There's 2 of them. That's my guess. I have no idea how old they are. So, but it's a good little listen. Speaking of good listening, the Olympics, so good. Did you watch the women's marathon? Did you see the elbowing at the end? And the men's marathon to see, oh, Hassan, what a rock star. To do medal in the 5K, medal in the 10K, and medal and win the Olympic marathon. And I was like, if she can stay in the lead pack, she's going to win. Because with her track experience, she's got that finishing kick. And that's where the track skills come into play, is at the end, you can really push it. And that's exactly what she did. So that was awesome. And then the men's marathon, seeing Clayton Young and Connor Mance come in like 9th and 10th, that was super cool. And just to see their camaraderie on the course, I don't really see that in women's marathoning, the camaraderie. I wish I saw it more. Like, I feel like our American women don't like team up, or I don't know. I think it's something women need to work on. We're so like dog eat dog, which is weird. And the men are more like friendly competition is how I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That was just the impression I got. And as I've been bragging about, it's going to be in Long Beach in 2028. Some of it will, and most of it will be in LA though, but I can't wait. So I hope your training's going well. That's where my head's at. So I'm in a little bit of a brighter space. I've moved on to acceptance. I'm accepting that I don't want to say I'm not going to sell it, because I could still have a great race and pull a sub 340 out of my hat. I'm okay not running a sub 340. I think if the weather is good, I do think I have a good shot at a good race. All my races that have not gone well, it's all been related to heat. Like, for example, in 2016, I ran the Marine Corps Marathon. I ran it in 5 hours, I think in 5 minutes, or it was like 5 on the nose. I was trying to sub 4. It was so hot that day. I remember by the mile 11, I was like already walking crazy. So then 3 weeks later, I ran a full again because I was like, F that. I totally trained for this. What happened? I ran a full a couple weeks later and I ran a 3:59. So I do know that I don't do well in heat. Like, that is a fact. Who does? Some people do. Like, I don't know. I think Clayton Young was like, I wish it would have been hotter the day of the marathon because I like heat. I don't. I fall apart in it. So I think if Berlin has good weather, I think I could still do fairly well. If it's hot, I'm going to do some serious adjusting at the beginning. And yeah, and I should have adjusted more at Boston and I didn't. So no lesson learned. All right. Have a great week. I'll see you for week 12. And Bye.